inquiry is the way into history. It requires us to research, question, dive deeper, and create our own opinions. Historians conduct inquiries into topics of particular interest to them. They then create different outcomes such as research papers, museum exhibitions, and podcasts to share their results and conclusions. And it all begins with a question. A question is all important to historical inquiry. It guides the inquiry, gives it focus and clear goalposts. It's so important that it can sometimes be a bit overwhelming to decide on a question, but it doesn't have to be. Let's break it down. The inquiry question needs to prompt deep thinking, to set clear boundaries, and to ensure an open-ended answer, one that is not answerable by a search engine. To prompt deep analytical thinking, we rely heavily on the first word of a question. The first word sets the tone for what you will do and how you will do it. Here are some examples of words that you could use. Each of these words will require you to do something slightly different. Can you tell what the difference is between analyse and explain? Analyse is defined as to examine something for the purpose of understanding and explaining it. Explain is to describe something in a way that is easy to understand. So explain has one less step than analyse. Make sure you understand exactly what is involved in the word that you choose. Next, we need to set clear boundaries for the inquiry. This includes being specific about the time, place, people, and significant events, among other things. So let's break down how you should approach each of these. Time. We recommend a time period no more than 30 years. A time frame larger than that will be too challenging to cover in a single inquiry. Place. The place could be a suburb, city, state, or territory, or in some cases, a country or continent. Just remember that it's much easier to discuss a smaller area than it is to discuss an entire continent. People. People defines what kind of person or group of people that you're talking about. Is this person a migrant? A First Nations person? Are they working class, or do they fit into a different social category? Significant events provide important context to what was happening in the world at the time. So, for instance, a world war, pandemic, or revolution would be highly relevant to an inquiry. Can you think of any other boundaries that you might need? We need an open-ended answer to ensure that we can fully explore the topic. But remember, it needs to be a question that a search engine couldn't answer. Let's look at an example together. You could try using this worksheet to help you with refining your question. My topic is the Industrial Revolution and the Movement of Peoples 1750 to 1900. If we didn't know much about this topic, the first thing we might think to ask could be, what was the Industrial Revolution? So I'm going to start there. The next thing I do is check in with step 1 of my question writing guidelines. Do we have an effective word to promote deep thinking? Not really. So I'm going to go with explain. Explain how the Industrial Revolution. Well, that fits the first criteria, although it's not quite finished yet. It doesn't yet have clear boundaries. So let's add place. Explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain. Now I'll add people. Explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain affected people. But we need to be more specific than that. Which people are we discussing? Well, the overarching topic talked about migration, so I want to talk about people who migrated. Let's try explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain affected migrants. Now I've covered the people and significant events, but I think it would be more effective if we knew where the migrants were going. So how about we add more information about place? Explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain affected migration to South Australia. Now we're really getting somewhere, but we haven't yet clarified the time period, so let's do that. The topic talked about 1750 to 1900, but that's too broad, so I'm going to choose the mid-1800s. Explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain affected migration to South Australia in the mid-1800s. So now we've covered place as well as time. For my final check, I tried searching my question and I got the answer quite easily. So that tells me that I need to make another change. I'm particularly interested in culture, so I'm going to add this into my question. Explain how the Industrial Revolution in Britain affected migration to and the culture of South Australia in the mid-1800s. My search engine didn't fully answer this question, so it's good to go. And there we have an inquiry question that ticks all the boxes. And we started from the simple question of, what was the Industrial Revolution? So let's recap. To create an inquiry question, we need to prompt deep thinking, set clear boundaries, have an open-ended answer, one that can't be answered by a search engine. Now we can dive into our research analysis and create our own outcomes. I hope you feel ready to dive into your question writing.